Buckle up. We're in for a ride this week. We have officially entered eclipse season. So, very exciting. Let's start off with a reading. And I'm going to just adjust things here because I feel like maybe I'm too close. But I want you to be able to see the cards. Okay, so as we are entering into eclipse season, we wrap this week with a full moon lunar eclipse. Holy cannoli. So the energy is building this week. That's why I say buckle up, take a breath. We're in for a ride. And I'll explain what I mean as we go. And it's a fun ride. I want to invite you. Well, there was an old saying, and I'm trying to remember who said it, but they went along the lines of life is like a roller coaster. You can get on it and you can be gripping so hard and closing your eyes, white knuckling and screaming through the whole thing. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to throw my hands up. I'm going to trust that this bar will hold me and I'm going to have fun. And that's what it really is about. And that's why I say, buckle up. Let's make ourselves aware. Let's set ourselves up for success and dig in. We're in the home stretch. This is not the time to be letting go and giving up. It's often the time in a co-creating process, aka manifesting process, where most people let go, where it feels like, oh, I've just been working so hard and I'm not seeing any signs of growth. Is this really working? Is it happening? Oh, I just don't know. It's so hard. Can I make it? It's like the marathoner who has been in that race for 21.2 miles. And they're at like the 21st mile and they don't realize they just have 0.2 of a mile left to go. They've already done 21. All they have to do is round the corner and they see that wonderful ticker tape or whatnot. And then they're there. They've reached the goal line. So you're so close. We're going to talk a little bit about the eclipse, what to expect. But first, let's start with a card. And as you hop on, give a quick hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And if it's spring, where you are, as we get ready for the spring equinox as well, or equinox. I like saying it both ways. Which way do you say it? Equinox or equinox? Guess it depends on where you're from. But we have that Tuesday and the sun goes into Aries. So big week, big fun week. So here we go. What's the most important thing that you need to know going into the week? I love how she hopped out. The 3 of Wands. That means you've already made your decision. You've already made a choice and you're waiting for the right wave, the right opportunity to come in. She's biding her time. No longer is she in the office. The card before this 2 of Wands. She's sitting in her office. She's staring out the window at everybody else having fun, going on adventures while she's stuck in a place that's not bringing her joy. She's looking at the globe and a map of all the places she wishes she could be out of those, professional office clothes and in something that feels more like her, really being in her own skin, feeling good in one's skin, bien dans sa peau. I love that saying from the French. So this is about feeling good in your own skin, knowing that you've made a decision. The choice has already been made. Now it's just saying, have patience for the right wave to come in. Don't jump too soon. That's also part of the, don't give up. So sometimes at this point in the race, as we're working towards the full moon, people will let go completely and throw in the towel. And you have to tune in with your heart and your spirit and your soul and see where you are. But I would say, take a deep breath, place your hand on your heart and say, do I have it in me to just see it through this moment in time? Because the opportunities that are around the corner are really quite amazing. And you can ask your angels and the joy guides. I'm going to do some angel readings today too. I'm excited to bring them in. But call in your angels and your spirit guides to give you signs of affirmation along the way that you are on the right path. And it's a matter now of just waiting for the right wave. Don't jump too soon, but make sure that in your heart, it feels in resonance with who you are. And how will you know that? Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Good morning. Thanks for joining. And as you join, if you're new to StreamYard, because I'm doing this through StreamYard, I love the ability I have to use the screens like this. Make sure you give permission so I can see your name. Otherwise, you just show up like Facebook user. So hi. I love the heart. Thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about this week and the moon, because this is how you can harness the energy and find out, am I getting signs of affirmation? How do I know to keep staying on this path? Is this the right wave to get, or is it time to switch beaches? But keep looking for that wave. Okay, that's when I can come to my handy dandy trusty Inside of the Moon journal. And if you don't have one yet, why not? I've got more left in this current batch. The link to pick it up is right around. Okay, let's first just start with the phases of the moon. On the front of the book, I have the description of how to activate the energies or harness them in regards to the phases of the moon. Because when you're looking to create a dream, if you line it up with the moon, then all of a sudden things can flow with more ease. So in the beginning, we just look new moon, full moon. Then we can get into all 8 phases and get really nitty gritty. And then we can get into the zodiac signs. But in the beginning, we're going to start high level and just keep it friendly. Oh, Julie, hello. Thanks for saying hi. What you need to know about this week when it comes to the phase of the moon is that we're going from a waxing gibbous to a full moon. And it's not just any full moon, it's a full moon lunar eclipse. And eclipses are about shaking us out of complacency. You know, we get into those spots, it's natural as a human being, where it's like that saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it may not be bringing you joy. It may be sucking the life out of your soul. Good morning, Ida. Thanks for joining. And if you're in a position in life like that, or, they talk about like the velvet handcuffs or the golden handcuffs, where you're in a job where it's pays really well, it has great health care, great 401k, whatever it is, but your soul is slowly dying. Now, does it mean you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater? Take a deep breath, not necessarily, but it does mean shifting your energy so that you're not caught in the doldrums, kind of like that movie Joe versus a Volcano. Did you ever see that? Where Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan are in it, and Tom Hanks works in this basement office with this like flickering fluorescent light over his head, and it's just like, oh. Sometimes I think we feel like that. The life has gotten sucked out of us. Then he gets a death sentence, meaning he gets a poor health diagnosis and he thinks, oh, my life is over. And then proceeds the comedy. I won't give any more than that because I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it yet. But it's saying, don't wait for the how do I want to say this? Don't wait for the bad news to kick you into gear. Take the bull by the horns and go for it. Oh, Dali, hello. Yeah, right? Joe versus a Volcano. Such a good movie. Oh, I didn't realize it was like a cult movie. Probably has a cult following. Love it. So this is the week as you're in a waxing gibbous. It's saying, okay, it's the home stretch. Things might this is like when there's maybe a little bit of turbulence on the plane. Things might get a little bumpy. You might get a loop-de-loo in the roller coaster, but hang on, breathe, have fun, and enjoy yourself. Now, how will you enjoy yourself? Well, let's talk about that. So I have sacred practices for each month. This is a dateless journal. You can stop and start wherever you want to. But I'm going to bring you first to this section here, which I call the veg and tofu portion instead of meat and potatoes. And this is going to help break it down day by day. Okay, what I do at the beginning of every week is I set an intention. I've put a top 3 that I want to focus on. This could be for business. It could be personal. It could be spiritual development. I have clients who love journals and planners, and they actually have multiples. And they cross-pollinate with them, and they use them for different things. So some of my clients use this just for spiritual development. Some use it with work. When should I launch a program? How will I make sure that it's profitable? It just depends on what works for you. So for me, this really becomes more of a spiritual development practice, this journal, but I know then how to weave it into my work and my business. So my top 3 this week are assess, align, and act, because I have been feeling that, oh my gosh, things are hard. Is it working? Do I jump ship? Do I change paths? Where do I go? What do I do? What should I focus on? And I know, because I have these sacred practices and these insights from astrology, to take a deep breath, to ground myself and say, okay, notice the emotion that's bubbling up, assess what's happening, then align yourself with your dream or your vision, align yourself with what your heart intends, and then take action. So rather than just letting the emotion run the show and react to everything, assess, align, and act. That's what I'm working on. I said, take it easy and buckle up because the moon is in Cancer today, and my moon natally is in Cancer, and I'm just been like a basket of emotions. I'm just like, whoa. So I know the practices to do to help harness it and navigate it through. I'm going to share them with you. Oh, Alicia, yeah, great reminder to stay the course. Exactly. You know, it's that old saying, I think it was Woody Allen who said it's 99% showing up is success. And this is that week where it's like, show up, show up. So the crystal that I work with this week as an ally is rose quartz. And this is just to remind myself to have compassion, that sometimes when life gets hard or emotions get big, just be compassionate, be kind to myself. Maybe there's things that I do that are a little kinder, maybe I have healthier food, or I take time for a walk. And this week specifically, the way I'm gonna feed my spirit or nourish is laughter. Every week I encourage you, this is kind of part of my larger programming, the Mastering Intuition, where I talk about, it's important to have a little, in some ways it could be considered an alchemy bag or a mojo bag or something just for emergencies, that when the big waves of emotion hit and you feel like you're in the swamp of sadness or things are really, really hard, it's difficult at that point to say, well, what could pick my spirits up? What could give me hope? What's going to help cheer me on to keep going for it? And when you create this little list, I like to think of it as I just write down a list, like my go-to movies, my go-to comedians, my go-to music that always pick up my spirits, is helpful, because when you're kind of in that swamp of sadness, it's hard to remember what brings you joy, because nothing brings you joy at that point. And it's like, what do I do? And I know that laughter is one of the best ways to nourish or to feed my spirit and help keep me on track, helping me to see the upside, the opportunities, the options in the moment. And so I have my go-to comedians that I love. Somebody just introduced me recently to Leanne Morgan, who's so funny. And oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember a couple of the other ones. There's a gal by the name of Catherine who's really funny too. She has Glitter Room, I think is the name of it. Anyway, so long story short, figure out what's going to feed your spirit this week and have that in place. And the ritual, we'll talk about that in a moment. But now that you kind of have an idea of where we're going to steer the week, what are we getting ready for? Let's talk about the days. So the moon today, Monday, is in Cancer. Cancer is an emotional moon. We feel emotions more easily. They rise to the surface. We might be a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more intuitive. What I want to encourage you to do is look at your to-do list for this week and figure out intuitively what needs your attention the most. And, again, I have all sorts of to-do lists and planners. I'm just reaching for one right here. I want you to write it down and just notice intuitively what pops off the page for you. You could do it right here in this section if you have the journal. That's going to help you, because as we get into the week, the speed of it is going to pick up a little bit. So moon is still in Cancer on Tuesday, but we have the equinox. It's spring officially, and the sun moves into Aries. So that's where things start to feel a little bit more fiery and moving. Aries is the beginning of the astrological calendar. So it's kind of like the beginning of the new year when it comes to astrology. It's spring. I don't know about you, but it's so hard to get work done when everything is nice outside. It's the first warm day, things are blooming. It's like, I just want to go outside and play. I want to play hooky. So have your list in the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, go through it intuitively, what needs the most intention, so that if you do need to let off some steam and get outside and play because you have a nice day, then you've got the room to do so. Wednesday, the moon is in Leo. Wednesday is going to be a good day to shine. So if there are moments, going to look great. It'll be a fabulous hair day. Leos always have great hair. They're lion's mane, If you have to record something, if you need to be speaking in front of people, if you've been working up the courage to kind of step forward and own your talents and your gifts, to tap deep into that willpower, then I would encourage you, do that on Wednesday and even Thursday, because the moon is in Leo both days. And with that Leo moon, the other thing too is sometimes, and this is coming through to say, is that Leos, they wear their heart on their sleeves, so they can also be very sensitive. I would say, and by that what I mean is they make themselves very vulnerable in the way that they bring their heart forward. And people don't always realize that about a Leo. And so Leo's hearts can easily be trampled on because people don't realize how close to the surface they wear them, because they seem to be very strong. It's a leadership energy. They're the leaders of the pack. They take care of their families and their friends. But I want to encourage you to protect your heart on Wednesday and Thursdays. You put yourself out there, just knowing that when you put yourself into a space, you're not setting yourself up to, I was asking for an example, and I get, it's kind of like knowing your audience and not necessarily saying, oh, I'm going to talk about ABCXYZ. Like I'll talk about all sorts of spiritual stuff, at my church in the sense of like, oh, this is a crystal I'm using this week, and I'm going to say this mantra, and I'm going to do this pranayama. I don't know that they're ready for that yet. They do a lot of practices that are very similar to what I do, maybe have different. Anyway, it just wouldn't be the right audience. I would be kind of setting myself up for some hurt. So, oh, Jamie, you're a Leo. Oh, how fantastic. Great to have a Leo here. My brother is a Leo, and he's an actor. Very stereotypical of a Leo. Yeah, read the room. Exactly. That's going to be good on Wednesday and Thursday, but it is your time to shine. So don't hesitate. Go for it on Wednesday and Thursday. If you have to promote something, talk about something, put it out there, but just be mindful of who you're putting it out in front of, because they may not be ready for it, or they may not be in a place where they can hear it, and it might frustrate you. And you don't want to put yourself in frustrating positions this week. This goes back to the card of the Three of Wands. Make sure you're going for the right wave, because if you go for the wave that belongs, in a different place, it just won't feel good. Okay, Friday and Saturday, Moon is in Virgo. Here's what I love about that. And even into Sunday, Virgo energy is saying, all right, we are getting this place cleaned up. We are getting ready. Full moons are about, let's talk about Virgo and then the full moon lunar eclipse a little bit. Eclipses, well, we'll step back even more. Full moons are saying, let's celebrate our wins. Let's reflect back on what really worked and what didn't. Let's take a moment to just enjoy ourselves, and also know that in order to move forward to the next growth cycle, it's important to let certain things go. We just have to release it. We just have to let it go so that we've got time, room, space, energy, budget for the next project. And with the Virgo moon going into that, partially because full moons, we feel the energy coming. New moons, we kind of feel it more afterwards, but full moons, you're really building up to the crescendo, and then it quiets. Where new moons are very subtle and tiny, we get to the new moon, and then the work happens after the new moon. So the Virgo energy this weekend is saying, okay, we're going to help you get ahead of the ball. Any systems that are not effective or efficient, we want to toss out the window, or we want to revise. Because that's the other thing, is that we're getting ready for a Mercury retrograde, and we're actually entering into what people call the shadow period, astrologers. And this shadow period is just saying we're getting a little preview of what this Mercury in retrograde is going to be like. It's happening in Aries. So this saying, let's revise systems. Let's revise where you might have felt that I hesitate to say compulsion. It's a little bit more of a Pluto Scorpio thing, but this drive to just go for it without thinking. Let's make sure the systems are in place to support you. So anything that didn't work for you, let's toss it out the window. So let's say, you want to eat healthier, you want to get healthier, and you're like, okay, well, I need to make room to do meal prepping on the weekends. Or maybe you've meal prepped on the weekends. You're like, well, it takes my whole weekend up. I don't have time for fun. I'll make room for it on Wednesday. You're just going to revise things. But this particular full moon lunar eclipse is about relationships. It's happening on the Libra Aries axis, and Libra is about relationships, partnerships. Aries is about you as an individual, your dreams, your wants, your identity. And so it's saying there is a balance that needs to come into play between these two, between the relationships that you have in your life and where you're going. So it is an updating of relationships, or maybe even a release. It just is shifting things because that's what eclipses do. So it could be something as simple as, let's say, the shampoo you use, that relationship you have with it. It could be neighbors, it could be a friend, it could be work, but it's saying, listen, this week is setting you up. Monday and Tuesday, tune into your intuition. Figure out what's most important for you to focus on during the week, so that when you get to Wednesday and Thursday, you can really shine. You can talk about it, what you're excited about. You're preparing for the next growth cycle. And then as you get towards the weekend, it's getting everything, all the systems lined up in such a way that things flow with this eclipse. And the ritual that I'm going to encourage you to know, and even to kind of tune into the intuition of the Cancer moon today and tomorrow, is I'm going to have you tune into your heart, this ritual of feeding the spirit. So when you tune into your heart, you can place your hand on your heart, and there's a word, it's called a seed sound mantra. It's Yam, Y-A-M. And you can say to yourself, Yam. And you can say it once, or you can say it 3 times or multiple times. And what it does is it brings your awareness and attention into your heart. You're getting out of just your head and you're getting into your heart. And as you move your awareness into your heart, it's important to have a balance between logic and emotion, logic and intuition. I invite you to imagine drawing a line, imaginary, from the center of your head to your heart, and connect your head and your heart. And you can say, my heart says, and you just fill in the blank with the first thing that comes. My heart says, keep going. My heart says, stop. My heart says, let go. Tune in, because there will be some things that it's important that you continue to work towards, and others where it's saying, you know what, it's time to let this go. And the way that you'll know is by pausing. And the assessment can just be you simply placing your hand on your heart and bringing your awareness into your heart by saying Yam. Connect head and heart. Imaginary line. And you just say, my heart says. And something as simple as that, little ritual like that, you can do it so quickly. So let's pull an angel card really fast. And I'm going to pull an angel for each day of the week. And we'll work with the angels this time. Okay, so Monday, as we tune in, what angel can be a great ally or a companion for us on our journey today? Azure. Oh, beautiful. So your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith, and don't try to force it to happen. I love how the angels, thank you, angels. I feel like they're really backing me up here. What I was intuiting, which is hang on, keep going, have faith, have patience. It's coming. It's coming. In yoga, Patabi Joyce would say, do your practice and all is coming. Okay, so Tuesday's energy with the Cancer moon. Which angel ally can be helpful? Fiona. Ah, now that you've asked the angels for help, be open to receiving divine guidance and assistance. It says, you deserve heaven's help. I love that. Again, so in tune. Remember, you have free will. You need to ask for assistance and help. So with that being said, the list that I said at the beginning of the week to write, that you just tune into your intuition. You're like, okay, dear angels, dear God, what's most important that I focus on? What helps me stay in alignment with my vision, with my goal, what I'm trying to accomplish, so that you aren't distracted. Okay, so Wednesday's Leo energy with the moon. Which angel or ally can be most helpful? I see who comes. Oh, Azure popped out again. Okay, so Azure did pop out again, but I want to address Mystique. Mystique also popped out, and she says, keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. You can see why I really like this deck. This is an old Doreen Virtue deck that is so precious to me. It's not in print any longer, but a dear, dear friend in my astrology class shared this with me, and it means the world to me because it's a very powerful deck. But keep charging ahead. Wow, I love it, right? So there's that 3 of Wands message. You know, you're on the right path. You just have to wait for the right wave. confirmation. Did you hear that little ding? Okay, so Thursday's Leo moon. Which angel, which ally can be most helpful? Maya. So schooling, study, and education help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will guide you and help you with this process. So I love the sacred geometry behind her, the beautiful star. I love what almost looks like Saturn or a beautiful black hole. Here's what I have to say about this is that we get to a point, you've had the intuition at the beginning of the week, you've had the reinforcements, ask for guidance, ask for the confirmations that you're on the right track. You're going to get them. Your angels are with you. And as we move towards Thursday, it's saying, okay, make sure you educate yourself as well. So this is what I love. I really see discernment coming in here. The way that I teach and practice myself is it is so important to be grounded so that we can be discerning. Yes, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We came here to evolve and to grow and to help and to love and to make this place a better place. But at the same time, we're living in a human body in a 3D world. We have to eat, we have to sleep, we have bills to pay, fur babies, kids to take care of, homes to take care of. So it's saying we need to find a balance. We need to find that harmony. And that's Libra 2 energy, harmony, balance between weaving our intuitive practices into everyday household routines. It could be something as simple as, oh, is now the best time to go to the grocery store? And, or bumping into an old friend you haven't seen in a long time, or missing the crowds. But it's very, very beautiful like that. And I won't go into that anymore. I don't want to take up time here, but that's what I do in my Mastering Intuition program. It's saying we're householders. How do we weave this into everyday life? Because that's what we really need to do. Okay, so Friday's energy, Friday with the Virgo moon, which angel or ally can be most helpful? Oh, Fiona popped up again. I love it. Okay, so keep asking for help. That reminder, keep asking your angels. I love that guardian angel prayer. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom's God love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to rule and to guard, to rule. How does it go? To light, to guard, to rule and guide. I was trying to remember the little rhyme. I have it up on my wall in front of me. I had it memorized way back when. Okay, and then Saturday, which angel or ally can be most helpful on Saturday? Grace and Antoinette. So beautiful to help heal the situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. So this is a healing time. So remember I was saying this full moon solar eclipse, or guess what, full moon lunar eclipse is about relationships. And you might find that a relationship that wasn't working, it's time to update it, to bring it into current time, meaning maybe having a deeper conversation or opening up the repressed emotions that you may have held back, what you were thinking or feeling, but to also take a moment to see it from their shoes. One of the things that I've loved about learning astrology is that our spirits all come here with different plans and purposes and goals. And where we might be very judgmental of other people, we can see their astrological chart and realize, oh, well, wait a second, that's why they live life that way. It's because their spirit really needed this kind of experience. It develops a lot of compassion and understanding. Yeah, lots of feminine this week, lots of feminine energy, most definitely, which is interesting because there's that underlying current of Aries, which is very masculine. But here's why I think we feel so much feminine energy. There's a lot of planets right now in Pisces. Just pull up my software here. We have Mars that's in Pisces right now, which is interesting because Mars rules Aries. So this is starting off as kind of a more feminine type of energy of Aries, like the Strength card. It reminds me in tarot. Saturn's in Pisces, Venus is in Pisces, and Neptune is in Pisces. So that's 4 out of the 6 planets in Pisces. It's very, and I see the Piscean energy because it's a water element is being more closely associated with feminine energy, the receptivity, the intuitiveness, the emotion, the feelings. So even though it's Aries and it's spring and you think masculine, you think the ram, it's presenting in a more intuitive way. Very much so. And that's why I think the discernment is so important to be grounded, because Neptune rules Pisces, energy can be a bit kind of daydreaming or foggy, or we want to escape when things get really stressful and get distracted. And we want to avoid the distractions this week. Have your focal point. And that could be the sacred geometric shape, which is in the journal, the beautiful triquetra with the heart. Okay, I won't get into that. Let's go ahead and we'll pull a card for, I think that was Saturday. So I'm going to pull a card for Sunday. If I miss Saturday, let me know. So the eclipse energy that's coming in, it's coming in 1 a.m. actually on Monday morning Eastern, and it'll be for Pacific then 11 p.m. 10 p.m. Pacific. So some of us will feel the eclipse peak Sunday night and some Monday, but we'll all be sleeping. And part of doing, or let me say it this way, part of the eclipse happening while many of us are sleeping in the Western part of the world is that it's doing work on our subconscious. So it's going deep. It's a deep, deep healing that's available to us. So Sunday, and we'll say with the lunar eclipse energy, which angel and ally can be most helpful. Oh, Archangel Gabriel. Oh, how beautiful, who helps you communicate with your words. So if you are looking, again, whatever is calling for more harmony and balance and beauty in your world, look for that communication help from Gabrielle. And you can say Archangel Gabriel or Gabrielle. The angels are neither, the angels can, I keep saying present, I've been looking at a lot of anatomy videos. The archangels can present as masculine or feminine or androgynous. And so sometimes people feel Gabriel as Gabrielle, more of a feminine energy. But however, Archangel Gabriel appears to you. But it says you have an important life purpose involving communication in the arts. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help you. Call on Archangel Gabriel or Gabriel this weekend. They're with you for sure. Oh, I get goosebumps. Oh my goodness, what a fun week. Thank you all for hanging in here with me so long. Let me know if you like these longer form readings. I want to make sure it's not too much information to overwhelm, but enough to really give you some insight into the week ahead so that you know how to harness the energy. I could always go into more, but I want to make sure that it's workable for you. If this has been helpful, please do share it with a friend. And oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for being here live with me, everybody. It's such a joy to see you. And also, if you're watching this on a platform like YouTube where you can like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. It very much helps get this word out and this message and helps to support me doing this work as well. All right. Much, much love to you. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye, guys.